Okay, continue.
Continue. Okay.
Well, we probably should wrap it up for today. I would love to do more interviews with you. You're great to do an interview with. I mean, I just have to go and practice with the band in a little while, and I have to carry all this. Yeah, I don't have Kylie here to take. Kylie's usually the workhorse. He just brings all that stuff, and today I'm the mule.
Okay.
I'm the.
Let me finish.
Yeah, please go ahead. I have a few more minutes. Go ahead.
To posit the individual versus the collective or the tribe, the person in society often defines himself by what family they came from, what fraternity or group or political party or club or band. And too often I think people define themselves not by what's within them, as Martin Luther Jr. said, Martin Luther King Jr., their own character and their own traits and ideas. They define themselves in a collective way, in a tribal way. Well, we think this and we do that and we don't do that. And the we word implies two or more people, which is fine. But at night when you go to sleep or in your private moments when there's no music on, which is a whole other issue, there's always some kind of sound,
distraction.
Music or
yeah.
distraction. There's a wonderful book called Escape from Thinking, a philosophy book, thin paperback from years ago. So I believe in the individual, but I take your point that we don't live in isolation. We don't live to ourselves. We do have responsibilities to others. We do have connections to others, particularly family. But again, like they say, you can't pick your family. You can pick your friends, but you can't pick your family. Unless you have real cool friends, and then I've screwed that joke up. Can't pick your friends, but you can pick. Can't pick your family, but you can pick your friends. You can't pick your nose, but you can pick your friend's nose if you have really cool friends like you. I need to rehearse that joke. I'm 20 years old. I need to redo it.
That's all right.
Needs a reworking. But again, when a man comes into the world, when a person comes into the world, they come in alone, unless you're a twin like I am. I'm a twin brother, Paris, France, and 3 beautiful nieces, and a wonderful sister-in-law. If you come into this world alone, and you leave this world alone, and in between we have the value of human contact, the value of socialization. And to my mind, that socialization is a bit skewed toward the tribe or the group or the party or the collective rather than putting the emphasis on the individual. Even a family is a collection of individuals. You might have 2 babies, a mother and a father, some older kids, but each of those people has an individual self, an individual ego.
Well, it's a balance between the two always. I mean, you wouldn't want a state that ignored either one. You wouldn't want to live in a society that ignored either one.
No, that's the S word, society. That used to be the C word, now it's the C word, community. It used to be, well, society says this. Society itself is just a collection of individuals. And the only way one knows the desires of society is, at least in modern times, is they take polls or they take votes. And even still in America, 50 or less percent people vote. They used to claim in Russia and other communist or totalitarian states that 98% of the people voted and they only had one candidate. But here we have 2 candidates, the Republicans and the Democrats, and people, either through apathy or through ignorance or through just sheer desire to not be a part of it, they don't vote. Here in Birmingham, we had 20 or 30% turnout for the council members a couple months ago. In December, we have a new mayor coming, and they claim that there won't be a great participation unless people can get motivated to say we've had corruption, we've had big monkey business when it comes to our finances. We've got a $2 billion or more note to pay over the next few generations for Birmingham, and we've only got, I believe, 250,000 people in the Birmingham area. So that's a lot of money for us to be on the hook for. And one of the new candidates for mayor, I believe it's Patrick, I forget his name, Patrick Moody or Moore, who says, well, we're going to spend some money and give people jobs, and they can also be lookouts, kind of neighborhood watch. And I'm thinking, well, we need to save money rather than find new ways to spend money. That was the problem we've had over the last few administrations. They're always looking for ways to spend more money, which we don't have, and they end up borrowing it or putting our children and us on the hook.
You're talking about the city government?
City of Birmingham, yeah. Specifically, the candidate said, well, we're going to hire, we're going to have jobs, city jobs for 10,000 people. Unless I'm mistaken, I might have the figure wrong.
But you don't believe in government creating jobs?
Government can't create jobs because government has no money of its own. Government can only take from Group A through taxation and give to Group B, C, D, and E and redistribute it and take the middleman's cut. Government has no place in creating jobs other than to create the safety and the security and the legal framework to protect people's wealth. Government is a destroyer of people's wealth rather than creator of people's wealth. Government can only destroy a portion of a person's wealth. They can't create anything except mischief, corruption, more legislation. I mean, what's the product of politicians? More and more and more legislation. They never get rid of legislation unless they have the sense to what they call sundowning or grandfather clauses. They only create new laws to supersede old laws. And there's, I believe, 800,000 words in the federal tax code. God knows how many words in the various criminal codes. Tomorrow, if they so chose, they could write the inking of a pen and make 10 million new criminals in America. Or they could decriminalize some things and criminalize others. Right now, it's a crime to smoke marijuana, and yet in California and even New York City, I've heard that you can go back of Wall Street, nearby Wall Street, and there's people just buying it and smoking it like it was Marlboro. And they say in California, Southern California, there's almost more of these cannabis outlets than there are bars. And so we're creating more problems. We're creating problems by unevenly enforcing the marijuana laws. But as your friend told me from Food Not Bombs, he said 5 million people a year, 3 to 5 million people a year are arrested for drug crimes, which are for the most part non-violent, for the most part.
It's a different issue. If someone hits you in the head to get drugs, it's a different issue than if you do drugs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
By the same token, our kids are being subjected to a very powerful, and more powerful than it was in our day as hippies, 4 times to 6 times more powerful THC content, and their minds and their emotions and their maturity is not such that they need to be messing with marijuana. I don't think so. Where do you draw the line again between personal responsibility, between wanting to protect our children? Again, they say, well, there's so many million children in poverty in America. Well, I don't believe that. I believe their parents are in poverty, and their parents should be responsible for what their kids eat and don't eat, have and don't have. The children aren't in poverty, their parents are.
15 seconds.
Well, it's been a slice, and it's been the whole pie, but I appreciate.
Thanks.
All right, buddy.